My name is Julie Radzyminski, and I want to thank all of you for coming to the Lucy Hobbs Project second annual celebration. I also want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. I know you're all very busy, and we really appreciate you being here. Today is about celebrating. It's celebrating all of you. It's celebrating each other. It's celebrating what we've done in the dental industry. It's also about networking, innovation, and giving back. And that's really why we're here today. We have a full day planned for all of you. We have our award winners. We have 7 award winners that have been chosen by their peers, and they're here today, and I'm so proud that they're here that we can give them their award. We have 3 CE programs. We have the ADA Trends in Dentistry that's given by Dr. Solomon. We also have financing, which is given by Teresa Gast. And then we have social media, which is by Crystal Washington. And then we also have our keynote speaker, Liz Murray. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Liz, Liz became famous with her story, Homeless to Harvard. And it's one of the most amazing stories that I've heard, and I know that you all will be touched. Before we get started, there's really a lot of people that were behind the scenes, but more importantly, some of our sponsors that made it possible for the event today. We have our gold sponsors, Procter & Gamble from Crest Oral-B. We have our Cavo Kerr Group. We also have our silver sponsor, Haraeus Kulzer, our bronze on Pharma, and then our friendship sponsors, Sunstar, Microflex, Hugh Freedy, and Prosus. Thank you to all of our partners for all that you've done. So why are we here today? We all know the industry is changing. More women are graduating from dental schools than ever before. You're buying practices, you're making decisions, you're influencing decisions, and you're team players. We want to enable that through the Lucy Hobbs Project. The Lucy Hobbs Project is all about empowering women in dentistry to drive change and deliver results through networking, innovation, and give back. And that's really what we're all about today. We want to foster that and enhance that with all of you. But today, while it's a celebration, it didn't just start today. We've been doing programs across the country for the past year. And some of you have been in some of those regional programs. We have over 9,000 members on our Lucy Hobbs Project. And if you aren't already a member, I'd ask that you sign up after today. Go to the LucyHobbsProject.com, click on membership, it's free. You'll learn about our networking events, our innovation events, as well as any givebacks that we have. You have a chance to go ahead and be one of our bloggers. And you can also give us feedback on things that you want to hear in future programming. We launched over 11 programs across the country from a networking standpoint, and we had over 300 professionals attend. We also raised $10,000 for Smiles for Success. We hosted 3 innovation meetings where we had our members talk about what's the ideal service experience, what's the ideal equipment experience, and what do they need from a social media experience to get more patients into their office. We launched 2 advisory boards, both internal to Benco as well as external, to get feedback on the project, to understand what you all need to enable all of you for success in the industry so we can change it together. We also launched an internal campaign contest with our Benco associates to understand what it is they would like to change and what would empower them. And we have our winner, Ashley, here today. Ashley, where are you? Ashley, congratulations, thank you. And we also worked with an NYU graduate class, again, to create feedback, to understand what we can do to provide all of you the chance to change this industry more than ever. So really, while today is a celebration, it's a celebration of all of you. It's really not just the beginning. Or I should say, it's not the end. It's the beginning for all of us to continue to work together, to continue to network, to continue to innovate, and to continue to give back. because the power that's in this room to change the industry and where we can go from here is unbelievable. And I know Lucy Hobbs would be very proud as we think about what she did back in 1866 to receive her doctorate, her leadership, her perseverance, her mentorship, and her guidance. I know she'd be cheering all of you on today, so thank you. So again, today is a day to celebrate. It's to celebrate ourselves, celebrate each other, and really empower all of us to drive the Lucy Hobbs Project. Before we move on with the project, I'd ask that we have all of our award winners and the presenters please come up to the front. We have chairs right in the front with the names, if you wouldn't mind coming up. Before we move on, I want to talk about a few housekeeping issues, or housekeeping items, I should say. All of you have badges. Inside the badges are the agendas for the day. After this, we will be breaking for CE. On your badge, you'll have an A or a B. That will tell you which breakout you need to go in. So what we did is we took the breakouts and we split you in half. So I would ask that you follow your badge to the breakout. There's a sign-in sheet at each CE program. I would ask that you verify the information that's on it and then sign it. We will be sending CEs in the mail to all of you. We also have the opportunity for headshots. So we have a photographer here today. There's headshots in the foyer, so as you think about if you want a professional headshot either for LinkedIn, for your Facebook page, or for any type of publications, materials, we have that available, and we will announce when we're going to be doing those headshots. And we also set up a hashtag for today. So as you think about things that inspire you, if there's a picture that you want to take, please feel free to post it on Facebook or tweet it. It's hashtag LHP Celebration. So thank you. So now on to our awards. I am so excited to have our Lucy Hobbs Project Award winners here today. And we have 7 women that have gone above and beyond, both professionally and personally. And I have met many of you, some a little bit more than others. And I am inspired by all of you. And I'm not just saying that. You really do go above and beyond. And I couldn't be more proud to be here to present these to all of you, but more importantly, to celebrate all of your accomplishments. We have, again, 7 awards. They're around mentorship, innovation, humanitarian, industry icon, woman to watch, clinical expertise, and industry leader. Back in November, we sent out surveys and sent out nominations and asked people to nominate. We had doctors, we had assistants, we had dental students, we had representatives, we had manufacturer reps, and we had so many nominations, I knew that I could not make the decision on my own, so we had an independent committee come in and review all the nominations. And today, we will be presenting the 7 winners from all those nominations. So without further ado, I'd like to present the first award to Dr. Maria Maranga, who is our Mentorship Award winner. Now, I met, Maria's probably working on about 2 hours of sleep. She had several flight cancellations and luckily was able to make it here today. I met Maria about a year ago, I think through the Lucy Hobbs Project, and we spoke over the phone, and I would say within 1 minute I was utterly inspired. Everything that you do is absolutely amazing, and if I only could do half the things that you've done, I would be very proud. I don't know Maria all that well, but I did reach out to one of her counterparts, who unfortunately is unable to be here today, but put some words together, Dr. Mark Bowen.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to read Dr. Mark. So what do I think of when Dr. Maria Maranga comes to mind?
Oh boy.
I think of someone committed, compassionate, caring, dedicated, energetic, and devoted. I think of someone who loves her supportive, devoted husband, Ed, their children, Philip and Gabriella. I think of a strong Italian-American woman, proud and true to her Brooklyn roots and family that hasn't lost her accent. I think of a great cook and baker and someone who loves great food, especially if it's Italian. I think of someone devoted to her church, someone who has taught religious studies. I think of someone who's passionate about the cause of breast cancer awareness and support, an avid educator, fundraiser who inspires and gives hope to others, as she herself is a survivor. I see her as a mentor, a role model, and friend to her students and residents, advocating for them on their behalf, not just by teaching them, but helping them with their boards, the residency decisions, life decisions, who takes them out and into her home and bakes cookies with them. I think of someone who loves her beautiful home and garden, eager to get down on her hands and knees and plant and beautify. I see her as a leader, role model, and inspiration for students and dentists, especially women dentists, teaching them to strive for all that is possible in achieving their goals and balance between life, work, and family. I see someone who tirelessly works on behalf of whatever cause or purpose she sets her mind to. If she is at a membership event, she is constantly working the room, trying to recruit new members and to educate people about the need for benefits of membership. I see her as a person who wears many hats in dentistry and elsewhere. She has chosen to seek to wear that hat, and sometimes others have seek her to be worthy of wearing this hat. And she's never disappointed in that regard. I see someone who's always clever and creative in putting together events, especially for women dentists, as best exemplified by her part in creating Scrubs and Stilettos, as well as the recent membership recruitment and retention of cooking event for women called Flower Power, which I'd love to go to. Finally, I see someone totally deserving and worthy of receiving this Lucy Hobbs Project Award. I can think no one more deserving, Dr. Mark Baumann. So, congratulations.
He had to upstage me, so, okay. I have a brief written about what mentorship means to me. Oh, sorry. Good. What mentorship means to me. It was the morning of April 5th. I was in Chicago for the closing day of the ADA's Membership and Recruitment Conference. I was exhausted after having spent several days there and was truly counting down the hours till the end. I saw several people staring at a PC screen and with mouth ajar signaled me to come over. I stared intently for a long second, not absorbing my present viewing. Then the words began to process in my head. Joan Lee, former ASDA leader and Columbia Dental student, has been missing since Tuesday. Joan Lee, fourth-year dental student, leader of ASDA, honorary member of my mentorship female group, and my friend could be gone. It was a difficult few weeks, but as they passed, we had all hoped that she would be found. I recalled a conversation back in September when we were both speakers at an ASDA event in upstate New York. And she asked me, Dr. Maranga, just how do you do it all the time and with great energy? I explained to her that even the most organized person can get unraveled juggling work, family, home, and dental society responsibilities. One of the keys that I still believe in is to wed a near-perfect spouse. She laughed, but when I explained that a spouse that helps with house chores, daily cooking, children, and laundry is essential for your own well-being. It's the foundation to which we look for with elation when things aren't so rosy. She then says, I feel so overwhelmed from now that I can't imagine ever getting there. I joke that all female dentists feel that way, but she, Joan Lee, would never not succeed. We hugged, and she proceeded to fix my USB and stick drive because I'm technologically challenged. Fast forward to Sunday, May 4th. It is confirmed that Joan Lee is dead. The whole morning is spent grieving through texts from male and female dental students, dental society folks, and whoever would be listening. Then came the memorial celebration. I contacted some of my students to offer them a ride to Columbia University because I just knew that evening would be too difficult for them to take the ride alone. Since our school was 2 hours away, I secured permission from the dean to allow me to take them out of clinic early. The funeral, although quite sad, was in fact a celebration of her short life. Several people told of her stories, and her brother even played videos of previous days as a New York City stand-up comedian. We were instructed by the family to take some of the floral arrangements home. Arrangements which, as of this writing, 3 weeks later, are still alive and fresh, clear water. Joan is still alive in those that knew her and in each of the vases, and it brought great strength and solitude to the dental students. This is what mentorship means to me. It's not just confined to the formal relationships that we have with our students or our residents. Anyone can be a mentee, and sometimes you don't even realize that someone sees you as a mentor. Since Joan wasn't a Stony Brook student, it never occurred to me that she saw me as her mentor. This reinforces my belief that we must always think of ourselves as role models to our younger colleagues and act accordingly. We must be open enough for anyone to seek out us as a mentor. It's not a title, but it is a way of life. There's no special formula, just the caring of one individual to another and yet to another. We sometimes don't seek out to be the mentor, it just happens. During this late night of writing, I still had 3 to 4 endodontic recommendations to write, along with 1 dental school recommendation. It's not for everyone, and though I take great joy and pride, it can be hard. However, just like guiding our own children, teaching them morals, beliefs, and religious entities, mentoring dental students instills a high that cannot be duplicated. Of course, there is an expression of gratitude from them afterwards, and when they too seek out younger people to mentor, that too is rewarding. But if you ever thought about mentoring, please seek out a student. I promise you that not only will you get hooked, but you will also gain an introspective of yourself that you never explored. And that, my dear friends, completes the circle of mentorship. Hopefully you were mentored by a caring individual. Then you mentored. Then you observe that other people will mentor in your place. It's kind of like the circle of life. I encourage all of us here to grab on and go for the ride. And Dr. Proper, you're not off the hook, because I would love for you to mentor me at the AAE level. I would like to thank everyone here at Benco, especially to the terrific team of Julie, Megan, and Kathleen who got me here this early in the morning. And thank you again for this wonderful honor.
Next is Dr. Kaaren Geer, and I'd like to bring up Pat Arsenault.
Unfortunately, Dr. Geer couldn't be with us today, but it is my distinct pleasure to present the next award. Today we're celebrating the women dental professionals who embody the spirit of history's first female dentist, Lucy Hobbs. And we certainly have that in Dr. Kaaren Geer. Innovation is anything but business as usual. The late Steve Jobs, one of the most innovative thinkers of our time, summed it up well. Innovation distinguishes between leaders and a follower. Innovation is the core of Dr. Kaaren Geer's practice. She started to use a surgical microscope when only a tiny percentage of dentists had adopted them. Dr. Geer got on board with digital x-rays long before it was fashionable. Another noteworthy technology available at Dr. Geer's new office is the Velscope, an early oral cancer screening device. And last year, she became one of the 4 endodontists in the world to own a periolase system for treating gum disease with lasers instead of a scalpel. As you can see, Dr. Geer is a distinguished leader through innovation. Dr. Geer's goal for a new practice is to fulfill the patient's dental needs in the most painless way possible. For her new Martha's Vineyard practice, Dr. Gear's goal was to provide the most innovative dental technology to help patients maintain their smile in close proximity to where they live. In the past, the norm was for patients to leave the island to seek care on the mainland. This meant a taxi, a long ferry ride, and then another taxi. Now it's a simple stroll down the street. More exciting than that is the fact that as the word gets out, the patients are coming from the mainland to the island for care. As we discovered further, it is the goal of Dr. Gear's office to provide top-notch patient support. It is the foremost belief of hers that patients should have their own healthy teeth for an entire life. To support her belief, Dr. Gear subscribes to a program of innovative preventative medicine. Dr. Gear believes that her knowledge and her compassion will truly bring her patients to that realization. Kaaren Gear is a former clinical professor at Harlem Hospital Center. During her fellowship in New York City, she worked with many disabled adults, helping them obtain the highest level of dental care possible. In preparing for this introduction, I also learned that Dr. Gear spent 10 months after 9/11 helping to identify the victims of the attack, bringing closure to many families. This is a special person doing special work in a very difficult environment. Dr. Gear leads her practice and those she mentors using her clinical expertise in the areas of endodontics and general dentistry. She firmly believes in mentoring, collaborative treatment, and teaching her innovative ways to her colleagues, students, and patients. Networking, innovation, and zeal to give back are the pillars of the Lucy Hobbs initiative. Dr. Gear certainly is the foundation to these pillars in this great initiative. With this award today, we are celebrating Dr. Kaaren Gear as an innovator. The Benko family is proud to have Dr. Kaaren Gear help lead us in the Lucy Hobbs initiative, and today we are proud to present the Lucy Hobbs Innovation Award to Dr. Kaaren Gear.
And again, as Pat said, unfortunately, Dr. Kaaren Gear is from Martha's Vineyard, and her flight was canceled and was unable to make it. So she said sorry. She did everything she could, but one of the probably issues of living on an island, you have limited opportunities. But she's here in spirit. Next is Dr. Kaaren Vargas, who won the Humanitarian Award. So I'd like to bring in Brad Lenth.
Morning. When asked to say a few words about Kaaren receiving this award, I thought to myself, I can't explain why she deserves this award in a few minutes. It will take much longer than that. So I've compiled just a hint of what makes Kaaren an amazing person she is today. When I first met Kaaren, I was immediately impressed with the caring nature she showed. When she was working with patients, her genuine thoughtfulness and expertise shone through. This was not only with her patients, I could see the bond she and her staff held. They were a true team committed to caring. So much so that caring takes a new meaning at your appointment at Corridor Kids Pediatric Dentistry. As a measure to pamper and calm the parents, Kaaren has opened a spa within the dental practice so the patients and parents may experience a manicure or pedicure service during their scheduled appointment. As a parent, your protectiveness and concern for your children is the most important thing in your life. You want your children to have only the best and never experience negative treatment. As a parent, you must choose carefully who you will allow to be part of your children's lives. Kaaren and her staff are part of my children's life, and they are better off for this. When I heard Kaaren would receive this award, I was overwhelmed with joy. I've worked with Kaaren for the last 6 years and couldn't think of anyone more deserving to receive this humanitarian award. As a doctor, she has achieved so much and yet continues to selflessly give to those in need through free clinics and her everyday life. Dr. Vargas has been volunteering at 2 different free dental clinics in the Iowa City and Cedar Rapids area for the last 5 years. When she's not there, she's contributing her time and expertise on the pediatric board, being a peer and a grant reviewer, as well as lecturing. Also, mentoring her former students, giving them advice and guidance on practice management, patient care, career growth, and advancement. Just going to show you that even when she's out of her own office, her passion for dentistry and giving back is still at the forefront of her life. I would like to share one specific example given to us by Tanya and the staff at Corridor Kids in their nomination for Dr. Vargas. It reads, on a recent visit, a teenager was advised that it would be necessary to have their third molars extracted for better dental care. The family is struggling and to make ends meet, and currently have state-funded dental insurance. The family does not have reliable transportation to make these extended appointments at another dental office and live outside of town. These specialties are offered. Kaaren made it a point to have the office staff coordinate the appointments on one of her free days so that she could provide the family transportation to and from the consultation and operative appointments. Kaaren sees the health and well-being of children to supersede the restrictions of dental insurance reimbursements. I would like to thank you, Kaaren, for all you've done for me, my family, and the thousands of other lives you've affected. They can smile with confidence and know you truly are an amazing person. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm not very long-winded, so this is very brief. Being here and receiving this award is an honor and a very humbling experience for me. I want to thank Benco for its generosity and leadership in recognizing women in all aspects of dentistry. I also want to thank Brad, who I have known for many years and has been a big part of my life and my practice. I would like to thank my staff, who I couldn't do anything. I wouldn't be here without them, and I would not be anywhere near reaching any goals without their wonderful support and teamwork. I'd also like to thank my children, Sebastian and Cecilia, who are not here, my wonderful husband, Drew, who inspire me every day to be a better person. Giving back has always been important to me. I am from South America, I'm from Peru, and have seen what poverty can do to someone. I can see how daunting an experience and daunting a task it is for people to receive basic services and obtain basic services. Healthcare is one of those that is out of the reach of many people. Through dentistry, I have found a way to give back to my community and to my colleagues. I will leave you all with a quote from Desmond Tutu that I try to live by every day. It is difficult at times, but do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. Thank you.
Great job. We'll mail it back to you. And now our Industry Icon Award winner, Dr. Mary Hartigan and John Taggart.
Good morning. Dr. Mary Hartigan, I don't even know honestly where to start with this one, but I'm going to start right from the pillars of the Lucy Hobbs and my feelings. This is pretty much all my words and my first memories of starting off with Dr. Fentner and Dr. Hartigan's office. Giving back. Just first off, she's mentored numerous hygiene students from the Jacksonville State College of Dental School for years. Not only has she mentored them, she has invited them over to her house for study groups, pizza parties on regular Friday nights. Mind you, she also has 4 children of her own. So while she's doing the study groups, the kids are still there and going to school, and 3 of them are already dentists and 1's a teacher. She finds great reward in working with the students. Not only has she done that personally, but she also has given a scholarship of over $75,000 for the students that are in need of money, funding for their schooling. And still to this day, going to any of the offices in the Jacksonville market, you mentioned Dr. Hartigan, the hygienist, they all come running up to the front desk and ask, how's she doing, where's she at, and what's going on. She can call them, or they call her now, for either personal or clinical advice to this day, even after years of graduation. Dr. Hartigan also and her staff are a great lead in the Salzbucker Give Kids a Smile. The Salzbucker Clinic in Jacksonville is the clinic for homeless, and she'll give up her time and dentistry to them. Dental associations that she's involved with, her networking group. She started up a Ladies of Jacksonville Dental Group. She founded it, I believe. She's very humble too, and but she's associated with the Jacksonville Dental Association, the Northeast Dental Association up there, the National American Board of Periodontal, just to name a few. And she, like I said, she's a driving force for any clinicians in the area of Jacksonville, Florida. Innovation. Those of you that don't know, and I just recently found out about this one, Dr. Hartigan was born with one eye, okay, and the other one is a prosthesis. When she originally went to the University of Florida, she was denied access into dental school for her range of vision. She went and spoke to the dean. They saw that she was a very dedicated, committed, and eager person. She has opened the doors for many students, therefore, after coming in with any handicap or discipline. So therefore, she was accepted into the University of Florida. She is a Gator. And so, yeah, she's opened the door for many students in the University of Florida coming into the school with any handicap. Her heart, her smile, you walk in the door, you know you're feeling comfortable when you walk in, and any kind of atmosphere, any surgeon or clinician problem you're going to have, she walks into your operatory, she has your hand, you know her staff, they call you by name, they don't call you by doctor or mister, they call you by name. It's wonderful. Very warm atmosphere when you walk into the office, and a wonderful staff to have. Okay, the day that I found out that Dr. Hartigan won the award, I had to wait for the call from Julie, because I live right around the corner, and how I found the office, they were on my jogging path. And I would jog past, and I was like, I'm going to jot that down, I'm going to come down here tomorrow. And that's how I started coming on to meet Michelle at the office. I was like, you're on my jogging path, and every day I come through, and I kept knocking on that door, and finally one day the door opened up, and I've been taking care of Dr. Fentner and Dr. Hartigan for many years now, and hopefully for many more. And Dr. Fentner and Dr. Fentner and so on and so forth. So I got the call from Julie that everything was okay, and she found out. I walk in, and it was 2 days before Valentine's Day. I walk in with this big bouquet of roses. The office staff is like, John, what's this? Oh, this is so nice. And I'm like, Dr. Hartigan just won an award for the icon for Lucy Hobbs. And as I'm saying that, Dr. Fentner comes around the corner. He goes, what are you doing? You're showing me up. He goes, Valentine's Day is now for a couple of days. Her staff did not know at that time that she won this award because she's very humble. She's very proud of herself. She kind of keeps a lot into her and she's not one to go out there and fancy it up and tell everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor. And this was told to me many years ago by Atala Brody. Many of you know her. She said, many people walk in and out of your lives for many reasons, and you never know why. I'm very glad and very honored to know that this woman has walked into my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Dr. Mary Hartigan.
I have to thank John. That was very, very, very nice. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank Benco because this is an absolutely wonderful organization. It's been a wonderful weekend so far. And I have to thank John, thank Doug Hughes, thank all the people that have organized this. And I can't thank you enough. I also have to thank my staff, because I can't exist every day in the office without them. They make every day a pleasure to come to work. It's not work, it's fun because they're there. And can you guys stand up? I want everybody to clap for you. Thank you. I have to thank my husband, who's extremely supportive for the last 34 years. My kids keep wondering how we're still together because of the banter that goes back and forth. But most of the times we agree. Our daughter is here. She's a freshman at UF, and our son, who's our partner now, Michael, and 2 children that aren't here, Alex and Elizabeth, they're back in Gainesville. They had to work. And I thank them too, because I couldn't exist without them either. I have to thank my parents because they were incredible mentors. My father was kind enough to give me my first job in dentistry as his dental assistant. And I sort of got interested in dentistry because of him, because I noticed he hated to see a woman sit. But if I was reading a dental journal, he didn't bug me. It was okay for me to sit down. So that's kind of how the first thing got started. But I want to tell you guys something about, everybody here probably knows that there's a lot going on in dentistry now. It's kind of every 20 years or so, there's a big turmoil in dentistry. Back when I was in school, it was the DMOs coming in, and that was a big deal, and it was going to be the end of dentistry, and they were closing dental schools because decay was going to be a thing of the past. And now there are additional things. We've got a bad economy, and I think people are very afraid right now. Specialists are afraid because they're not getting referrals, and general dentists are afraid because the patients aren't coming in. And I think there's a new movement that's happening that all of us can be a part of, and I wanted to let you guys know what's going on in some parts of the country, and that's mentorship or partnership. In our practice, what we do, we started inviting general dentists. Now, general dentists were starting to do implants in the area, and some of them were doing a great job, some of them not so good, and they needed help, and we knew it. And so what we did was invite them to come to our office, and we have what we call a partnership, and what we do is we work to teach them or to help them to be better at what they do. Instead of being afraid and being fearful, we are embracing our relationship with the general dentist. And what's happened is we were really surprised because it's almost like opened up the floodgates. The response that we're getting from the general dentist is they felt alone. They felt they were doing things. Some of them were doing things beyond what they really should be doing. And now they have a relationship with somebody where they can share their fears, they can share their cases, and we can help them better do what they want to do. And all of a sudden, they feel like they're not alone in their practice, and they're sending us actually more patients instead of fewer patients. And we're learning a lot from them because we're learning what we could do better, how we can serve them better. And I think if all of us, not just dentists and not just specialists, I think a dental assistant can mentor a new person in the practice, or mentor someone who is thinking about a career, a high school child or something. And a hygienist can reach out to the specialist, reach out to learn from their hygienist if you're not comfortable with that specialist. If you're doing endo in your practice, reach out to the endo specialist, and maybe they can help you, and maybe you can do some of the cases and send the really crazy ones to them. But it really, instead of being fearful and in our practices, we can all be better if we share with other people and share with students. That's why I do work with students, because I like to share with them. And I learn every single day. I learn from my patients, and I forgot to thank my patients because that's the biggest thing for me. I learn every single day from them. So I would just encourage you all to embrace the Lucy Hobbs project, to mentor, to innovate in your mentoring, and just develop partnerships with the people that you work with every day. Thank you.
Our next award goes to the Woman to Watch, Dr. Proper. We have Kealy, Akin, and Lynda Davenport.
So I have the honor this morning to stand up here and introduce Dr. Terryl Proper as this year's Women to Watch Award winner. When the announcement was made that the Lucy Hobbs Project was accepting nominations, I undoubtedly recommended Dr. Proper, and I think I would have had to fly up to Pittston had she not won. But Dr. Proper, she is the senior partner of a 7-doctor, soon to be 9-doctor, 2-location practice. Dr. Proper joined the Endodontic Associates. She was the first female dentist to join 24 years ago. Now, this practice is one of the largest endo practices in the country, and Dr. Proper undoubtedly has been an integral part in making it both the size and the success that it is today. Dr. Proper is highly involved in our local community. She has served as chairman of the board and dedicated years of service to Interfaith Dental Clinic. Now, this is a nonprofit clinic that protects, restores, and improves the oral health of the uninsured, low-income, working people and their families. And Dr. Proper has dedicated years of service to help sustain the mission of this clinic. I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Proper for about a year now. Our first project was actually a Lucy Hobbs networking event, where she and her team, they were co-sponsors for the event. Dr. Proper dedicated time and funding to make it the big success that it was. When she was asked to participate in this event, she didn't hesitate. And that's truly because of her passion to support and encourage women in dentistry. The list of awards and organizations that Dr. Proper has received, the organizations that she's been involved in and is in today, is a mile long. I could list them all out, but Megan told me I had 2 minutes, so I can't list them all. But they range from the B. Fields Alumni Award from Tulane, President's Award from the AAE. She was the first female in 50 years to serve as the president of the Nashville Dental Association, and she's currently president-elect of the AAE. With all that being said, the biggest reason why I nominated Dr. Proper is her heart. She is one of the most humble, caring, intelligent, hardworking women that I've ever met. So I value Dr. Proper as a customer, but I really value her as a friend. So I'm going to turn it over to Lynda Davenport, who's Dr. Proper's office manager and probably knows Dr. Proper better than anyone.
Good morning. We really appreciate the honor that's been given to Dr. Proper. We decided, you know, some people it takes 2 people to make introductions for, really special people. But I've been employed with Endodontic Associates for the past 14 years for Dr. Proper and her 7 partners. So more than anyone else in this room, I feel like I get to watch Dr. Proper. So we want to let you know very briefly what we watch. First of all, we watch a networker extraordinaire. She connects people, projects, ideas like no one we've ever met before. We also watch her creativity. She's the rainmaker for whatever she touches. She makes it happen. She is the force behind our practice. She's an accomplished cook, in fact, winning numerous contests, and she has a quick wit. In one interview, she was asked, "Dr. Proper, you're such a great cook. Why aren't you married?" Her response, "I like my men medium rare, but the ones that I meet are well done." That quote made Chicago Tribune, New York Times, Southern Living. She was Miss Congeniality in 1977 at the Junior Miss Pageant and was voted most likely to succeed in her high school class. She's always been a charismatic leader. Dr. Proper, we also watch her spirit of giving. We watch her lineage of generosity. She is relentless in local fundraising for charities, giving back to the institutions that have trained her along the way, and paving the way for many people that she identifies their talents and nurtures. Our nickname for her is Over the Top Prop, for obvious reasons. And we know that this award, she leaves a legacy of change, a generosity of spirit, boundless energy to make a difference for those that will come after her. She's a great boss, a special person. Benko, you got it right. This is a woman to watch.
Thank you very much. I'm just kidding. Wow. You know, that really moves you when you hear people say such nice things about you. Most of it was true. Okay. So, you know, I love Lucy. Everybody loves Lucy. In this case, it's Lucy Hobbs Taylor. She was the first woman in the world to receive a dental degree. That was in 1866 from the Ohio Dental College. As America emerged from the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation came in 1865, and women didn't earn the right to vote till 1919. At a time when America was selectively ignorant to the idea that a woman could perform a man's job, Lucy Hobbs was hell-bent on her dream. She was limited by the glass ceiling of the 19th century, but possessed ambition, perseverance, tenacity, and brains. Clearly, she surpassed the boundaries of her contemporary career options. So my contention is, if Lucy Hobbs were living today, she would be a very wealthy lady. She would never have practiced dentistry a day in her life. She would be retired and living lavishly in her multi-million-dollar Miami beachfront estate, monies received from her multiple lawsuit settlements based on gender discrimination. That's what I figure. Lucy's spirit lives on in each and every one of us, and the award winners before me have proven that Lucy Hobbs has left her mark on our profession and on the women in this room. Recognition by the Benko Dental Company as a woman to watch really brought a realization to me that a person's accomplishments are not achieved quickly, but rather cumulatively over your lifetime. As I accept maturity and the marching of time, the reality is that I've become a more effective leader, a more successful as a businesswoman, more influential in my role as a mentor, and more realistic in my vision of what could be. And I emerge fearless, fearless to go forward and fearless to conquer challenges ahead. As millennial women, we must walk that tightrope every day of being assertive without stepping over the line, to retain our femininity, yet stand firm in our beliefs, fight harder against the status quo, and possess determination and focus. We continue to operate in a male-dominated world, and we must hone our leadership styles. It's necessary for our success as women in the work field. The Lucy Hobbs Project embodies innovation, networking, and giving back through organized efforts, involvement, and service. I applaud Benko Dental Company for having the vision and creating a platform to enable us to leave a legacy for those that follow in our footsteps. Leadership is what makes us want to follow someone into unknown territory and trust that everything will turn out as planned. And sometimes when you're a leader, you have to look farther down the road, and you have to envision where you want to be. And sometimes as a leader, you're not even sure you can get there, but you sure want to try. As a Woman to Watch Award winner, I plan to carry the torch and light the way for the next generation, as Lucy Hobbs did for all of us. I think that Lucy and I were probably kindred spirits, or in the South they call it, she was probably kin to me. I want to charge ahead with purpose and determination, undaunted by the obstacles in my way. And I really, really want to thank the Nashville Benco family for nominating me for this award. Mark Rowe, Nathan Cox, and Kealy Akin, and the brothers Cohen and Corporate Benco for selecting me. It's a real honor. And you know, when I was informed by Julie Rads that I got this award, I laid in bed one night and go, gosh, did I deserve that award? And I started thinking, gosh, I've been a dentist for 32 years. It's taken me 32 years to become a woman to watch. but you know, that's how it goes. I also want to thank my office manager, Lynda. She is steady as they go, a loyal and faithful supporter. And I always say this about Lynda, she's the wind beneath my wings. I'm a super creative person, and I come up with a lot of ideas. Some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. But once the partners decide we're going to go forward with something, it's really Lynda that helps us implement it. So Lynda, thank you for all your years of service and your constant encouragement and support. And the last person I want to thank is someone that's truly been a mentor to me. And he showed up here unannounced to surprise me. And that's Dr. Jim Gutman. Dr. Gutman is Chairman Emeritus of the Baylor University Endodontic Department. And I have to say that Dr. Gutman really represents mentorship. He plucked me out of the ranks of the American Association of Endodontics as a young endodontist with not much experience in the leadership, and he identified something in me. He took a rough piece of coal, and he's guided me and nurtured me and polished me up. I'm probably about a grade G on the diamond scale. I have a way to go. But I'll never forget this. When Dr. Gutman was president of the American Association of Endodontists, he selected me to be the general chair of his annual session in New Orleans. And when he asked me to be his general chair, he said, you know, Terryl, I just want you to consider this question. What if? I don't know, what if what, Dr. Gutman? Well, what if this and what if that? And he said, you know, Terryl, you have what it takes. And you need to work on it, and you need to be involved, and you need to be a role model for other women in endodontics and in dentistry. So Jim, I've never forgotten that question, and it's been a tremendous surprise. I'm touched, and I'm honored, and I thank you for being here for me. And I thank everybody in this room. Maria, I'm here for you anytime. And I look forward to doing good things for dentistry and good things for women. And I appreciate Benco so much for providing this award for me. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, excuse me, I forgot something. Do you see this little blue box? Well, somebody at Benco really knows the way to a woman's heart because all the award winners received this beautiful Tiffany bracelet that's monogrammed. So on behalf of all the award winners, whoever picked this out, you did a great job. Thank you.
Next award winner for clinical expertise is Katti Webb Simpson, and presenting the award is Rachel Pugh.
Good morning. I'm Rachel Pugh, Marketing Communications Manager at Banco Dental, and of course, the self-proclaimed ambassador for the Lucy Hobbs Project. I am very privileged to be introducing Mrs. Katti Webb Simpson for the Clinical Expertise Award. You know, I remember months ago, as my team and I prepared for the Lucy Hobbs issue of Incisal Edge. As the nominations arrived, we were impressed as we kept seeing this name, Katti Webb Simpson, Katti Webb Simpson, Katti Webb Simpson. Nomination after nomination for this honoree came flooding in as her peers felt Mrs. Simpson exemplified the true spirit of Lucy Hobbs. My team and I, of course, agreed, as did the deciding committee, obviously, but let's take a deeper look at some of the parallels. Fact, Lucy Hobbs breaks out on her own and opens a small practice in downtown Cincinnati. Katti Webb Simpson opens first independent dental hygiene practice in Maine. Fact, Lucy Hobbs serves as a delegate to a national convention for the Iowa Dental Society in Chicago. Katti Webb Simpson establishes a new dental care programs at local schools teaching children about preventative dental care. Fact, Lucy Hobbs becomes the first woman in the world to earn a doctorate in dentistry. Katti Webb Simpson is the first, and I believe still, only practitioner in Dover, Foxcroft, Maine to accept Maine's state version of Medicaid called MaineCare. Let me tell you a little bit more about Mrs. Simpson. She earned her associate degree in dental hygiene from the University of New England and currently runs a successful independent practice, the Dental Hygiene Associates of Maine. It is one of the first of its kind in Maine and, quite frankly, the entire country. What makes it even more unique? Her practice is in a lean-to room adjacent to her 1887 farmhouse, which she and her husband purchased 2 years ago. She prides herself in not only being a business owner, but also as a community advocate, offering affordable and quality dental care in an underserved county. She is grateful for being able to do what she does. Her passion for social responsibility continues outside of the dental office as well. She volunteers at the local YMCA. She works with the local Chamber of Commerce. She travels to local nursing homes to perform cleanings for the residents and organizes a local outdoor cycling group. And for fun, Mrs. Katti Webb Simpson is the epitome of an outdoor enthusiast. She enjoys hiking, boating, water skiing in the summer, and snow skiing in the winter. Mrs. Simpson loves living in New England and shares her life there with her husband, Jason, her 3 amazing stepchildren, Noah, Abraham, and Abby, and their newest addition, he's right over there, their 2-month-old son, Benjamin. Thanks for being here, Ben. I'd like to conclude with just a few quotes from Mrs. Katti Webb Simpson's peers. Steph Sweat says, she is a positive role model in her community, among peers, and in her practice. She goes above and beyond as a practitioner and as a friend. Courtney Bain says she is a leader and inspiration and a model to live by. And another nomination read, she has been successful and continues to grow, and she has been a great inspiration for me and my decision to go forth and get my independent practice dental hygiene license. It is my honor to present to you today Mrs. Katti Webb Simpson.
These have been tough acts to follow, I'll tell you. Congratulations, everyone. This is just wonderful. What a wonderful way to start the day. I'm humbled to be alongside such impressive and influential women. When I was a young girl, I was inspired by a red-headed orphan girl named Anne with an E. Does anyone know the story of Anne of Green Gables? Who happened to be what was written also by Lucy Maud Montgomery, another Lucy. Well, Anne was a vibrant girl, if you're unfamiliar with the story, who found herself in all kinds of adventures. She was curious, intriguing, and courageous. Many thought because of her past, she wouldn't amount to anything. The odds were definitely stacked against her, yet she was determined to push the limits of her potential. Anne once walked the ridgeline of a house just to prove she wasn't afraid of any challenge. I was impressed by her willingness and sheer courage to take risks. As Anne grew into womanhood, she turned heads with her accomplishments and defied the odds with grace. and Shirley was the type of woman I wanted to be when I grew up. Much like the story of Anne, Lucy Hobbs persevered through trying times. She beat the odds and became an inspiration to so many women. Thank you, Benko Dental and Lucy Hobbs Project, for celebrating the accomplishments of strong women. I'm honored to be receiving this award today, and I credit all the Anns and Lucys of the world who inspire us every day with their vision for the future. We need to have people in our lives who encourage and remind us of our potential in hopeful, optimistic, and empowering ways. We attract these people by being one of them. So walk those ridge lines, defy the odds, push the envelope, because you never know who you're inspiring. Thank you very much.
The next award is for the Industry Leader Award. Joan Austin, it would be presented by Chuck Cohen.
Good job. Hi. Good morning, everybody. In many ways, I think I have the easiest job here because the person that I'm speaking about is not able to be here. She passed away about a year ago, and I was thinking about that a little bit. It's really quite a pleasure to be up here today talking about a woman that I knew fairly well, personally, and also to speak about her a year after her passing. After a year, it becomes not an obituary anymore, but really a celebration. Sort of for the first year, it's really very depressing sometimes, but now, a year later, I think we can talk about Joan Austin with a sense of a feeling and an emotional side that's removed from the actual event of her passing a year ago. I can think of few other women that I knew who embodied the ideals and the skills and the passion of Lucy Hobbs more than Joan Austin. There's a lot of things that we all know about Joan, people in this room, and there's a lot of things I suspect that a lot of us don't know about Joan. So what you can read in Joan's obituary was that she was the co-founder of A-dec, the largest dental equipment company in the United States, family-owned business. She was the matriarch of that family business, and that's all clearly stated in the obituary. What I don't think many of us knew, or many in this room know, is that Joan Austin truly was the co-founder of A-dec. So I'm a little familiar with the A-dec story, the Austin family story, but basically she was a small-town girl from Newburgh, Oregon, married a guy named Ken Austin. Ken, by all accounts, still alive, of course, is a brilliant engineer and came up with many of the innovations that we now accept as just part of dentistry. He was a true engineering innovator for dental equipment. That in and of itself probably would not have been an interesting story. The story of Ken and Joan was that Ken was doing his innovations for other companies, and really, like many other innovators, couldn't get far enough on his own, and he went out on his own and started the A-dec company. What those of us who know the story know is that Ken would never have gone out and done that on his own. Never. It was really the support of his wife, his life partner, Joan, that enabled him to go out and start a business. And moreover, Joan brought a lot of skills to the table that honestly, if Ken were standing here today, he's unable to be here because he had some surgery a little while ago, that Ken would nod his head and agree. Joan was the financial mind, the HR mind. She really helped build the business in a way that only a co-founder can do. So when I talk about Joan and I think about Lucy Hobbs, I really think there are four words that I think embody Joan and what she delivered to A-dec, to the Austin family, and to dentistry overall. The first one is visionary. Joan was a visionary. Only a visionary could have seen that Ken Austin, sort of a unsuccessful small-town engineer, could have built the largest dental equipment company in the world and could have created the innovations and commercialized the innovations that now we take just as part of our daily life every time we walk into an operatory. Only a visionary like Joan could have supported Ken through the creation of this business and the success that it became. The second word I would use to describe Joanne is Joanne was a philanthropist, and honestly, a very quiet philanthropist. She did the kind of philanthropy that I think most of us would like to do if we have the chance. She had a lot of resources because the company was very successful, and she gave of herself and her time. When I was at her memorial service last year, I will tell you that it was amazing to hear people get up one after another who had nothing to do with dentistry and talk about the impact that Joanne had on them, on their community, on building a legacy for herself and the people of Newburgh, Oregon. The third word I would use to describe Joanne is, well, it's really three words all put together. She was a supporter and a leader and an encourager, bar none. And when we think back, when Ken and Joanne started their business in the 1960s, it was just not usual for a strong woman to be a co-founder of a business. And so whatever she decided to do, she had to do it quietly, behind the scenes, but yet effectively. And Joanne was all of those words. She was behind the scenes and out front when it was necessary. She didn't take the spotlight away from her husband, Ken, but she was always right there, making things happen within the business. She was in charge. She was the CFO. She was the chief HR officer. She was a key player in the growth of that business, but in a way that did not break too many of the bounds, at least publicly, for what the expectations are for women in the business world, especially at that time. And yet she didn't let those things stop her. That business would not have grown to become the success it has become without Joanne's constant support, nurturing, and encouragement of the business. And finally, the last word I would use for Joanne is Joanne was a rock. She was strong. The Austin family has been through a number of struggles, and Joanne was always there to deliver the strength that we expect a strong woman to do. She really embodied a matriarch. If you were to look up matriarch for a family business, you would see Joanne Austin's picture there. She was the one who made the food for the dinners. She was the one who made sure the family got along. She was the one who made sure that everybody was where they were supposed to be when they were supposed to be there. Truly an amazing woman. I'll give you, if you were to Google Joanne, you'd find out she has an obituary that's really literally this long. The first this, the second that, on all the economic development, very involved in real estate. I don't need to go through that now. That's just a laundry list. I will tell you that she has the most interesting fact I know about Joanne, the most interesting credential. She is the only dental person that I know, and in fact, as far as I know, the only living person I know who's actually had an elementary school named for her. I mean, when you think about who do we name our elementary schools for, right? Who do we honor with that? I mean, it's George Washington, it's Thomas Jefferson. I thought the most amazing thing about Joanne Austin is while she was alive, they named the Joanne Austin Elementary School in Newburgh, Oregon after her. And we can all put our name on a lot of things perhaps, but having your name on an elementary school while you're alive is really a testimony to how the people of Newburgh, Oregon, the small town, really felt about the Austin family and about Joanne in particular. I want to say that we are very happy and honored to be able to honor Joanne posthumously. In a perfect world, she would be here today to accept. I'm sorry that she can't be, but also as those of us up here know, sometimes when someone's not here, you can actually say nicer things about them. So with that, I want to say we thank the Austin family and the A-dec family for sharing Joanne with us and for her contributions to the world of dentistry. On behalf of A-dec, we have Steve Sage here today to accept. So Steve, I think you're going to take a nice piece of hardware home. So I don't know if you want to come up and say a few words.
Well, Chuck, that was excellent. I guess I don't need this now. That pretty much just summed up everything that I wanted to talk about. I guess to expand on that just a little bit more on a personal note, how I know Joanne, as Chuck mentioned, she started this company 50 years ago. just basically out of a garage and built it into the company that it is today. And there's over 1,000 employees that are at that facility out there in Newburgh, and she made it her personal mission to know every one of them individually. She would deliver a rose to everybody's little workstation on their birthday. The elementary school that was named after her are just a few things of note. So she really impacted the lives of all of her employees there, and it's a privilege for me to be up here and accept this award. Thank you to Benco and everybody. Thank you very much.
How about another round of applause for all of our award winners? Just absolutely, truly amazing and inspiring to us all. And that's really what the Lucy Hobbs Project is about. It's not necessarily about the individuals, but it's all the lives that you touch. And every single one of us have that opportunity to network, to lean back, to help, to influence. And that's really what today's all about. And you all were instrumental leaders in all this, and I'm so proud that we have you here today as all of our role models. So thank you all very much.